What up, what up? Coach Q here. Check it. Today, we're gonna do some serious stuff, man. We're gonna get into a deadlift, right? But before we get into our deadlift, there's a lot of things that you need to do to prepare yourself for it, right? Coach Q doesn't believe in coming to the gym and just starting to train, right? Because your body is cold. So what I like to do is take your body through some mobility stuff to prepare you for the exercise that you're gonna do. So I have Nora here, and what Nora's gonna do is we're gonna do some hip rotations that actually get your hips ready for that hip hinge movement. So go ahead and get onto your knees. Okay, so our alignment here, we're gonna have her go as wide as she can with her knees, okay? Now, we're gonna keep the hips and the knees in the same line, and we're gonna have the knees and the ankles in the same line. So we're gonna slide that ankle out just a little bit, okay? Now, counter to what you would believe, you would think that if I lift my foot, that's an external rotation. But if you look at the femur rotates inside, right? So this is called an internal hip rotation, right? So in this movement, we're gonna make sure that we keep our hips stable. We're gonna engage our core slightly, and we're just gonna lift a foot, slowly slide it back down. Controlled, other foot, slowly lower it back down. So what I do when I have a person come in, we'll do a slight cardio warm up. We'll do about 20 of these movements, which sets us up for our deadlift. All right, good. All right, progressing on from that movement. Like I said, deadlift is a hip hinge movement. So if you cannot get that hip hinge, you need to train people how to do that, right? I say the easiest way to get people to do a hip hinge is to get them to jump, right? Every single person, before they go to jump, they're gonna stick that hip back and then jump out of it, right? So what we're gonna have Nora do, go ahead and stand on the mat for me, okay? And all you're gonna do is give me a jump, right? So sit those hips and just jump up, right? Boom. Watch the hip movement, right? So she's clearing her arms back and shoving those hips forward. She's shoving the hips forward, right? So that's where we get our hip hinge. All right, now from that position, what I will go ahead and progressively do is go ahead and get her without a bar, because we have our bar set up over here for our deadlift, but we're not ready for that yet. So I will get her to go ahead and get into a nice deadlift position, right? So hip hinge, and the way that I do that, come back up, okay? The way that I have people get into that hip hinge, the first thing you're gonna do, all you're gonna do is put your hands on your knees, right? I got my hands on my knees. If you look at my form with my hands on my knees, I got a nice flat back, I got a nice neutral spine, right? So right now, into my hip hinge position. All I need to do from here is go ahead and reach down and grab that bar, right? Now, I will say this. If anybody tries to force you into a position that doesn't feel natural for your body, that's a recipe for injury. So get your hip hinge, but get it to be comfortable for you. All right, so let's get Nora, go ahead and get into your first stage. Hands on the knees, right there. Now, from this position, all I'm gonna have her do is explode those hips forward. So hip hinge up, boom, right there. Go back down to the knees, hip hinge up, boom, just like that. Go back down to the knees, hip hinge up, boom, just like that. So, you guys think she's ready? I think so. Let's come on over to the bar. She's gonna look at that bar. She gives the bar a nice little kick so she can tell that bar who's the boss, right? She's gonna get herself set up. Look at her feet position, right? Okay, shoulder width apart. She got that hip hinge position. She's not in a squat, she's in a hip hinge. So her hips are back, her body is flat. She got a nice neutral spine, her head's not too high, looking down at the floor, okay? Right there. And then she's gonna hip hinge all the way through. Boom, just like that. Give me two more. One more, and stop on the top, bam. Okay, now what you're gonna notice, she's got those glutes engaged, she's got those quads engaged. Look at her back, that's engaged. Shoulders, everything. So what I tell people is this one thing. A deadlift is a total body movement. So if you want to develop that total body, get on some deadlifts. It's Coach Q. It's a lesson for the day. Deadlifts. I'm out.